we're here today to talk to Charlotte Massey and Claire Smith from Pioneer Design and Build, a principal contractor within the construction industry, and Gavin Crane, who is the CEO of the charity Band of Builders, who are working together to highlight and improve mental health within the construction industry and its community. So hi everyone, thanks for coming today. Hi. Thanks for coming to sunny Stoke-on-Trent. It's not always this sunny, so I think you've brought a little bit of sunshine from posh Nantwich into sunny Stoke, so thanks for that, we really appreciate it. My first question is for Gavin, the CEO of the charity. Can you tell me about who started the charity, how it originated, how you got involved,
yes.
And also for those who might not be familiar with the charity, Band of Builders, please tell us about the aims of the charity and how it supports members of the construction industry. If you can tell us a little bit more about those bits and pieces.
No problem at all. Thanks. So Band of Builders is a relatively young charity. We founded in 2016 when Adam, a landscaper from Lincoln, wanted to support a friend and colleague of his who'd been diagnosed with terminal cancer. So Adam took to social media to seek support from fellow trades and was blown away by the response where 50 tradespeople turned up to support Adam in making improvements to Adam's home. So the home was in a great condition for Keith's final months, and the home was going to be prepared for the family when Keith was no longer around to support them.
Okay.
Following that very first project in 2016 though, the will and desire was there to do more and support more members of the construction industry. Adam sadly stepped away in 2018. I became involved as a volunteer on the second project in 2017 and just absolutely fell in love with what the charity was doing, the people we was helping and the opportunities to give back to the industry. So really it was from then, from when Adam stepped away, myself and a few others kind of took the reins and securing charity status in 2019 and the charity has kind of continued to grow from there. We're now supporting members of the industry across all 4 UK nations.
Wow.
Completing our projects. But for those that don't know Band of Builders, we're a charity dedicated to supporting members of the construction industry and their families by providing practical, financial and wellbeing support.
Okay, so elaborate a little bit more about that support then. What kinds of examples have you got where you've helped people and so on?
Sure. So our practical adaptations and renovations to people's homes were required as a result of illness or injury. So think DIY SOS without Nick Knowles.
Right, okay.
We unite the industry, bring trade volunteers together from across the UK to carry out home adaptations. Our next project, for example, which we start in 2 weeks in Surrey, is for a person who took himself off to hospital one day. He had severe back pain. He collapsed on arrival at hospital and he was put into a coma. But Paul left the hospital paralysed from the waist down and he's now living in his family dining room. So our volunteers from across the UK have come together to build an extension at Paul's home to give him the downstairs space, additional bedroom and wet room that he needs now to obviously complete the next stage of his life.
Yeah.
Financial support through a range of grants to support people in financial crisis, which can be anything from supporting with shopping, utility bills, rent arrears, car problems and transport.
So really hands-on support.
Absolutely. And then we've really, over the past few years, gone big into the mental health space. It was during COVID, actually, where we were prevented from continuing our practical projects at that time because of the social distancing and the regulations around bringing people together. That gave us some time to look at how else we could support members of the industry. And we started by launching our Big Brew, which is a type of coffee morning, which we begin to host in builders merchants and on building sites to connect with construction workers. And they're aimed at being a conversation starter around mental health within the industry. It's a huge challenge, huge problem within construction. It now has the highest suicide rate of any industry. So we've expanded on just hosting the campaign, the Big Brew Mornings, to offer tech support service, counselling sessions, a 24/7 telephone helpline to support members of the industry as well.
So run me through a Big Brew kind of morning. So everybody's invited. How does that take place?
Absolutely. The Big Brew is, it's just a fun kind of trade morning, or we take over a site canteen to get people involved. We have branded merchandise. We turn up with a tea and plenty of cakes and biscuits. Like I say, it's designed to be light touch. Talking about mental health is a difficult conversation, but we find once we do start those conversations that actually people are quite open to talking about how they're feeling. It's just starting the conversation, which can be the challenge. Yeah.
Do you have any counsellors that can support people? Could you signpost people then to said counsellors who can help moving forward?
100%. So within the charity, we also have our own kind of assistance program where we can signpost, and members of our industry can receive up to 6 free counselling sessions per issue to support them. And then obviously we'd hope that they'd also go on to more traditional means through the NHS.
Okay, so really it encompasses such a large amount of support, be it with the mental health workshops, the big brews, whether it's helping people with their home, improvements and so on, so that they can live in their home. And then it's financial support as well. So you'd encourage people just to pick up the phone. I should imagine that would be the first hurdle that people have got to jump over, really.
No,
just
it can
pick
be
up that phone.
Difficult sometimes to admit you need support. It can be hard to take that step. I'm from construction myself. I used to be on the tools. I was a commercial landscaper. So it can be hard sometimes, certainly as a male within the industry, to admit you need help. But I guess that's the vision for Band of Builders, is that no member of our community, of our industry, is struggling and feels alone.
Yeah, yeah. And if there's a company out there that want to get involved, like Pioneer Design and Build have done, and want to support the charity more, I know they can obviously pick up the phone or whatever, but can they sponsor? How does that go about? Are there different packages? Can they sponsor an event, or how does that work?
We have a number of different options and ways to support the charity. So obviously commercial partnerships and sponsorships, or fundraising events. There's lots of opportunities to support Band of Builders. But don't forget, it goes beyond just raising money. We need people to help raise awareness so we can reach every construction worker in the UK.
And then my final question, if somebody wants to help with regards to materials, because obviously if you're going to renovate a house for somebody or whatever it might be, can people donate those materials, those building materials that, as we all know, are very, very expensive and the prices seem to be going up and up and up? Would you like that kind of support?
Absolutely. We rely heavily on merchants, suppliers, manufacturers to donate materials for our practical projects. They play a huge role in supporting those projects. We're a small charity. One of our biggest projects to date had a project delivery value of over £130,000. But when the industry unites, if everyone donates a little, whether that's a pack of bricks or a pack of timber or a pack of paving blocks, we can do a lot with that.
Yeah.
It all adds up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
In the end?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, every little helps.
A little to the individual that's doing it, but probably has a big impact.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Wonderful, thank you. So moving on to Charlotte then, tell me more about Pioneer Design and Build and why they decided to work with this charity. What is it about the charity that you thought, yeah, that's the charity for us?
Well, we started off, when I started looking at doing stuff for different charities, we have done cake sales, stuff like that, and then we decided, right, okay, let's, instead of doing stuff for loads of different charities, let's hone down and pick a charity that's going to be for us to support. So we were looking around, I looked online at different ones, some that weren't construction based, some that were, and Band of Builders was one that really honed in on something that was supporting our people the most.
Yeah.
You know, any construction workers, we have a mass variety of subcontractors, we have partners that we work with, and it just thought that was breaking into the point of everyone that we could touch on, and our own team members, and there was so much that we could do to work with them, that we had ideas in mind, whereas the others, we just couldn't see any different ways of collaborating as much.
Yeah, it really resonated with you and the office and all your workers, your workforce and so on.
We all liked it when we looked at it, and then when we got in touch, it was so easy to get on board with everyone. speaking to one of Gavin's colleagues, they were so helpful. It just couldn't have been more of an easier process to get on board with them.
Oh, that's wonderful, that's great. So just moving on then to what impact you feel that your support of this charity will have on the workforce and the wider construction audience. Claire, I don't know if you've got a story that you'd like to tell where Band of Builders, you know, there was no such kind of support network and charity at the time that you experienced your story.
Yeah, so I'd only be young, I'd only be in my early 20s. I lost my husband to suicide through mental health. I've got 2 children. The house wasn't livable at all. My nan actually took me in, and to know that people have got Band of Builders out there and somebody to support them and going through the situation that I went through, it's just absolutely amazing. Mental health's a massive issue out there.
Yeah.
And I think everybody in life touches the bottom sometimes. So I'm getting a bit what's it here. But yeah, it's lovely to see what's going on, and we need more hands, we need more help, and we need to make it more successful, because to know that there's help out there at the end of the day would have made a massive difference to me, and will make a massive difference to people moving forward.
And it's also the construction industry, it is a community, isn't it? And it's a lot of men and women, but a lot of men that perhaps don't like to talk about their mental health. It's kind of something that they won't bring up. It's everything's all right type of thing. And it's not always he who shouts loudest. Sometimes there's things going on, as you say, beneath the surface and so on. And people need help, they need support, and there isn't support out there, is there at all?
It's really hard to get the support, and it's a shame we have to rely on charities, but it's them charities that get people through and see the light at the end of the tunnel. So
and that's exactly why we're here today, to highlight this charity. And that's exactly why Pioneer Design and Build have got on board with it and want to highlight it, support it where they can. So Gavin, from your point of view then, could you just elaborate on any stories where the charity has made a difference to people's lives and really benefited them?
So we're a small charity in the grand scheme of things, but we now impact and support people every day, whether that be through financial support, wellbeing support, or the practical projects that we carry out in people's homes. Like Claire said, mental health within the industry is a huge problem. We now find ourselves in an industry that has the highest suicide rate of any industry, with 2 construction workers dying by suicide every day. So this is the importance of these partnerships. These partnerships help us raise the profile of charity, but ultimately help us reach more people and provide access to resources when people are struggling and need support.
Yeah, that is a massive figure. I mean, I must admit, I didn't know that at all. That is it's chilling to think that that's the amount every single day.
Every day.
Yeah, so come on guys, we need to raise the awareness of this charity.
Thank you.
So, for the Band of Builders charity, how does having a partner like Pioneer Design and Build enhance your ability to support those in need within the construction industry?
Obviously, fundraising is a massive thing for us. The more funds that we can raise through the events that Pioneer will be hosting, the more resources that we can provide to support members of the industry. But it goes beyond fundraising. It is that reach and awareness piece for us. We do have resources available. We have a tech support helpline, we have a telephone helpline, we have access to free counselling sessions. So it's making these resources available to members of the industry, so they don't have to go rely on traditional resources like the NHS or going to the doctors, which obviously can be a challenge.
So that leads us nicely into Pioneer Design and Build. What activities have you got lined up to help to support the charity?
Well, next Friday, not this week, next week, we are hoping to do a in-house fancy dress.
Okay.
We have reached out to quite a few of our subcontractors and partners who we work with to see if they want to join in their offices to get dressed up, just to raise awareness, raise up money. We're going to get some cakes in, get some donations from that, make it a bit of fun. Not only is it that, it's uplifting in the workplace, and we've got kindly from Gavin some big brews, so we can try and get those out on site to try and get the people on site involved in all the activities that we do, which was really good to see that there was options to do that and stuff that we could get access to to try and not just leave it to a bit of fun in the office. We go and do all the nice things. It's nice to bring in the site staff to raise awareness of mental health, to know that they can approach the site managers on site if they've got any issues at all, whether it's regarding something that they don't work for Pioneer, they're a subcontractor, so they work for an external company. It's so we can do different events to try and help fundraise money, but also raise the awareness to all of our subcontractors and professionals that we all work with.
And to really include the contractors as well and the workforce.
Yeah, because obviously we've been working in HR. It's one of those now that, it is hard to get the help, but if somebody does come to me, I know where I can go moving forward. And it's that immediate response, it's that immediate help, and it's that you need straight away. And we don't get that out there.
Yeah, okay. So moving forward then, you've got plenty of things planned. It's kind of watch this space. Will it be on the Pioneer Design and Build? Will it be in the newsletter? It'll be on the blog,
etc. We're going to include it on LinkedIn, get some stuff on there so people can see what we're up to, how we're collaborating with band builders, how the site staff are getting involved. It'd be great to see what happens next week.
We might get to see some construction guys driving down in the vans dressed up as fancy dress on the road.
That would be fantastic. Who said who's going to dress as what? Have we got, or is it all kind of stunt at the moment? Perhaps we don't want to know, but yeah, it's all at the end of the day, it's about people having fun, but it's about this very serious issue and building the awareness of this very, very worthy charity. So can I just ask Gavin, just as a final plug then,
Sure.
What's the web address and how would you want people to get involved? I know they can go on your website and so on. Have you got counsellors? Can people give you a call? How does that side of things work?
So I'd encourage anyone listening and who wanted to support the charity or get more involved or learn more to reach out to us via our website, www.banderbuilders.org. There you can sign up for our monthly newsletter to keep up to date with what's going on within Banner Builders, where we are working in the country, because we now work across all 4 UK nations. Sign up for volunteering opportunities, donate, or obviously follow us on our social media.
Yeah, that's great. Well, thank you so much, all 3 of you, for coming. It's been really, really interesting. I can't get that figure out of my mind, to be quite honest, 2 every single day. That has really resonated with me, and that is so sad. So come on everyone, let's pull together and let's really, really highlight this charity and get it up there where it belongs. Thanks everyone.